Hello, and welcome all to episode 66 of the Spooky Spooky Horror Show podcast. I'm your host, Sean. Again, I'm joined by Anthony. As a reminder, this season's movies were chosen solely based on their box art. We're going to be judging whether or not the film is as good or bad as the box art, as well as whether or not we even like the film. There haven't been many this year that we like. Today, we'll be talking about 2014's The Bunnyman Massacre, or Bunnyman 2, as it's referred to in places, or vice versa. I don't know. The version I saw was called The Bunnyman Massacre. What version did you see?
It just said Bunnyman Massacre. That's it.
Okay, yeah. So some places
have
it as Bunnyman 2.
That's why I had a Discord. I had a Discord you to make sure I was watching the right shitty film.
Before all that, remember,
like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, if you'd like to support us on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribing helps us with the algorithm and engagement. You can also follow us and rate us on any and all podcast services, which help us with visibility and charting. Links are in the description below. With that out of the way, Anthony, not much time has passed, so instead of how's your week been, what do you have on the horizon? You have any plans besides going to fucking Michael's and getting fucking Gundam?
Oh, dude, my wife's like, yeah, wait, how do you know that they carry them now? I'm like,
I got an email.
Called them.
She's called
like,
them?
You called them? I was like, but yeah, I've been reading people like reporting that they've been getting them there, in which it always comes back to being over, like, in a different state, overseas, something. It's never anywhere that I live. So, I was like, why don't I ask? You know what I mean? Because if you go on their website, it just says they have them. Yeah. Doesn't mean that you can get them in the store. So I was like, you know what? What the fuck do I care? What am I doing? They're open. I'm like, let me call them. So I called them, and they're like, yeah. She starts reading them off. I'm like, I don't need to know what ones you have. I just need to know that they're there.
I will be in and I will get them.
Yeah, like, I just need to know that you now stock them.
Got my wife a Motorola Razr 24 flip phone.
Oh,
looks dope.
Yeah.
I'm up for a new phone, and I'm debating between the Pixel 9 Pro.
Don't you have the Pixel?
I have the Pixel 7 Pro. I'm looking at the S24 Ultra that comes with a stylus. Ooh. Or the Samsung Z Flip 6. The big thing is the Motorola I got her isn't the Razr Plus, so it has like a mid-range camera, and whenever we go out, instead of bringing cinema camera or the GH4 and shit like that, I bring my phone. It's great image quality on everything, but I also have a flagship phone, so it means it has flagship camera specs. Whatever phone I get has to have good photo and video, so it's like, I don't know. The Pixel line has a bunch of cool new features with like the camera app, but the Samsung phone is more powerful and has more camera rate. So it's like, I don't know. It'll probably come down to whichever one I can get cheaper. But that Motorola Flip one, it's supposed to sell for, I think it's $699, and my service has it on sale for $350.
Oh, that's
so it's like
great.
Yeah. So when I saw that, she was excited because she's like, "Oh, it's the phone sponsor for the New York Yankees."
Oh,
okay.
God.
Okay. It's like, "Do you want me to get it?" She was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "All right, I'll fucking get it for you."
That's all I need to know. I didn't need to know about fucking the other shit.
The second I ordered it, she's like, "Yeah, my phone's now acting weird." I'm like, "Of course, because you talked about getting a new phone."
Yes, it knew you were trying to get rid of it.
You can't talk about it and not expect that to happen. But yeah, let us go into some production facts. The Bunnyman Massacre, or Bunnyman 2, is a 2014 horror film written and directed by Carl Lindbergh. It stars David Scott, Joshua Lang, and Julianne Dowler. Bunnyman 2 / The Bunnyman Massacre follows the titular killer Bunnyman as bodies begin to pile up as he indiscriminately slaughters anything that crosses his path in a mutually beneficial relationship that gives Joe, which we'll get into Joe, plenty of beef jerky to sell at his local store. This is the sequel to Bunnyman, and this is followed by Bunnyman Vengeance that Anthony brought up before.
Yeah.
Filmed in Riverside, California between, I think, August 28th and September 30th, 2011. Based on the box art, what were you expecting from this movie?
I was expecting like Texas Chainsaw meets Easter, and it kind of did. It was terrible. Like, I just don't even understand why there had to be a buddy suit or a chainsaw.
I thought the box art was creepy. as a creepy dude in a
Oh,
bodysuit
yeah.
holding a bloody chainsaw. Enough said, right? Doesn't make it look amazing. It doesn't make it look like complete trash either.
Yeah.
Then we watched it.
And then we found out why.
Why was this called Bunnyman? Why wasn't this called Joe? Bunnyman is just a side character. He's a nothing.
It's just a side character.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't make that much sense.
I
And on
don't-
top of that, you very clearly could take this. It's like a suit. It's not even fucking
Yeah.
a bunny man.
Yeah, it's just a really I mean, there's something wrong with his face. I don't know what that deal is. Maybe it's explained in the first one. I don't know, but
It reminds me of fucking House of a Thousand Corpses.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, like the way his face looks.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into plot. The
Plot.
film opens on a terrible old-timey stock footage
Yeah.
before cutting to beautiful Riverside, California. I'm
And wasn't it
being
like
sarcastic
miners?
while I say beautiful Riverside, California, because Riverside, California sucks.
Uh,
A school bus is trudging down the dirt road, and a little girl is sitting at the bus stop. However, she looks weird, and when the bus stops, it opens the door. We see that she's dead, but the bus driver doesn't do anything. She just stares at the dead girl, which gives Bunnyman the opportunity to come up
yeah, I assume you to get
from the
on.
front of the bus. It doesn't like walk completely from the side. He walks towards the engine and then walks around to the driver's side. It's very dumb.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
He shoots the bus driver in the face with a shotgun, and the bus driver seems familiar. I didn't look into it to see who she was, but she looks familiar, like I've seen her in other stuff. It's just I wanted to spend as little time on this movie as I possibly could.
I don't blame you.
The kids begin to scream, and then Bunnyman walks onto the bus and begins slaughtering all these school kids. Some of them manage to get out of the back window, except for that one kid that is sitting on the floor outside the bus, supposed to be dead, but is breathing, like clearly
Yes.
breathing.
Barely. Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Chest is going up and down, up and down. He's like, just hold your breath. That's all you gotta do. Just hold your breath for a second.
Oh, just a whole breath. We'll make it look like it's longer than it is. Just hold your breath. 2 seconds. Can
If
you
they
give me 2
didn't,
seconds?
I mean,
Yeah.
if they spent a little bit more time, they probably could have freeze framed the kid and rotoscoped in Bunnyman walking. But I feel like that's
Yeah.
just too much of an effort, because did you have issue with audio, like dialogue? I could barely hear it.
No.
Yeah, for me,
Well,
every
had
time
the
Joe was
scenes
talking,
with the
it's like I couldn't hear a
the
goddamn thing he's saying.
scenes- Yeah, those scenes were a little bit lower, but not that much.
After terrorizing the school kids, Bunnyman makes his way through the woods, coming across a campsite. Suddenly, it's nighttime, so sure. In one tent, a woman is sound asleep, and in the other, a couple is having sex. I'm sorry.
Are we talking
I
about the
don't-
football field?
I don't want to be that guy that talks about
I don't be that guy.
fake
Botched
breasts.
boob jobs? Oh, I'll be that guy.
Her cleavage was
It was like a
crazy
mile.
fucking distracting.
That was cleavage? I thought there was a fucking desert between. I think Moses had less of a fucking gap there.
You could fit another fist between
You could
the
you
gap.
could fit the fucking 49ers
it was
in
it,
there.
Jesus,
I'm sure
it might as well have been on the
P.
side of
Diddy's
her
dildos
ribcage.
can all fit in there. All of them.
I was like, fuck, P. Diddy's dildos.
They can all fit. They can all fit in
Oh,
the middle
God.
of that.
And it's just like, I don't want to be that guy that talks about it, but it's like when stuff is happening and then all of a sudden that comes off, and I'm just like, what the fuck? All I see is a chest cavity. I just looking at that, and even the wife was looking at it, and she was like, a plastic surgeon that said okay to doing that should have their license revoked. They
He
should
got
not
his
have a
money?
license.
They
Well,
got
yeah,
their
he
money?
got his money, but that looks awful. Anyway, I'm sure that's gonna fucking get clipped into oblivion. Bunnyman cuts his way through the sleeping girl's tent and then attacks her to pull a Jason X moment where he beats the co-ed against the side of a tree. Only this time, it is a girl in her sleeping bag against a rock, but the sleeping bag that he's bashing against a rock clearly doesn't have anyone inside of it.
Anyone inside it, it's just
That
a
is
fucking
completely
room.
empty. And there'll be another thing when they push something where you can see that there's no weight to it. And it's just
Oh,
stupid.
that scene.
But this isn't the first time that there's something that's clearly being like stolen from another movie. Bunnyman
Oh, 'cause there's
grabbing
no
the girl in the
original
thing
thought.
and beating her on the rock is the same scene as, like I said, Jason X. But if you notice, there's also the Texas Chainsaw Massacre freeze frame sound in this too.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I know. I said the same. I was like,
And it's
dude,
like
that's
you didn't even
fucking
like
trying
you
to
didn't
rip it
even like
off?
tweak the audio on it. You just kept it
No,
exactly the
it's
fucking
full on.
same. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, come on, man.
Then the chainsaw, and then
Yeah.
some of the imagery, like you're clearly fucking riding that that coattail there.
Here's something that is confusing.
The whole movie?
Yeah. While he's slaughtering this woman, she's screaming for her life. How do the other two
Okay.
not hear her? They don't
Weren't
check
they fucking
on their friend. They don't stop fucking. They don't even remotely comment that
No.
what the fuck is Cheryl yelling about? Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. She's screaming bloody murder as she's killed. Help, help. And you're just like, nah, I'm gonna play with these fake boobs.
No, they're full thrusting.
Yeah,
They're full thrusting into the that too.
After killing the sleeping bag girl, he shoots the horny dude in the face, and as the topless chick tries to escape, she is distracted by her dead friend, and Bunnyman comes up behind her, stabs her, and then kicks her to the ground where her fake misshapen boob lands center frame of the camera. And then we immediately cut to Joe, who sells human jerky out of his general store.
That's so gross.
He wants to make sure that Bunnyman placed a sign where it was supposed to go so that people would go to his store. And I think there's like a scene,
I like it.
right? There's a scene somewhere of him like shooting a cop, right?
Yes, there is.
I think.
Oh,
I think,
well, that's
I think it's
later
around
on.
here.
Where him and the sheriff.
Well, no, that's the sheriff,
Like,
but
you
I
know,
think there's
they-
a scene where it's like he's talking about his jerky. And he's like, her, I left it too long. Her. And it's because he shot a cop or something. I don't know. It felt like they were trying to film these guys are hillbillies deep south, but it's
That's what they
it's
tried.
Riverside, California. I don't know if there are people in Riverside that are like, hey,
In Riverside.
I don't know what's
Not
going
that I've
on.
ever-
Unless they're like goofy performers or something like that. I don't know. Gosh. Later that day, a man is traveling with his wife and two daughters, and they stop at the store. Joe sells them some jerky. He makes a weird fucking comment about his kids, and then the family leaves without incident. This was kind of weird. You think there'd be a callback to this? There isn't. That night, Bunnyman enters a barn where Joe is eating dinner. And here's another thing: when you can tell a movie is boring, I could not.
What?
Fuck! Did you see the way he was holding that goddamn fork?
Oh, I can't remember now. Why?
He's like
Was he holding it all
like
fucked up?
like that. Like he's holding it like he's missing a chromosome. It's so
That's
fucking
so
weird.
bad. Some people just hold it different, or is it
No,
like the people that
no.
that hold pens weird?
Yeah, you can't be like, oh well, maybe there's just some people that hold it weird. You're holding it in like the most uncomfortable of ways. Like a wrist isn't supposed to turn like that to eat. Like I was just staring at it, and I was like, please just cut away from him eating and don't let him eat again because I don't want to see him hold it.
That's terrible.
This is how boring the movie is. That these are the things that you pick up on. It's like, God damn it.
It's
I
not
shouldn't be looking at
entertaining
this. You should be keeping me entertained, but Joe isn't entertaining at all. Joe is a piece of shit that I just don't want to hear talking. I don't care about his monologuing. I don't care about how he treats Bunnyman. Like, I don't care. I don't fucking care about him. You called the movie Bunnyman, make the goddamn fucking movie about Bunnyman.
About Bunnyman, not Joe.
It's fucking stupid. Bunnyman, if we're gonna say Bunnyman so fucking much. Bunnyman tries to feed his bunny that's in a cage some meat, and Joe begins to berate him, taking the cage the bunny is in and throwing it against the wall. I'm hoping there wasn't a rabbit actually in there and it was maybe a stuffed animal. But this causes Bunnyman to make a scene. He begins throwing stuff around before having like a shitty flashback, and I'm assuming they're cutting to scenes from the first Bunnyman movie. But we've never seen that movie.
We've seen the
So
first
we
one.
have no
we
context for what any of that shit is. But this is
Yeah.
where you get the carbon copy Texas Chainsaw Massacre like audio stingers.
haven't. And it's not like as if they like let you know ahead of time that it's in the first one. It's just like randomly peppered in.
He ends up stopping, and then they go back to eating and stuff. The next morning, Joe's looking through his rifle, and he spots 4 young women hiking into the woods. If you can call it woods, it looks like it's a desert. He doesn't take a shot because he knows that they'll just scatter. So he tells Bunnyman to go get them and to not fuck it up.
To retrieve.
While Sarah and Lauren go on ahead, Kelly and Rachel hang back so they can catch their breath and rehydrate or something. They're kind of complaining about how much of a bitch Sarah is. I think Sarah was the blonde, if I remember. I think they're complaining about
the
how
short-haired?
she's... Yeah, I think they're
The
complaining
short-haired
about
girl?
how
Yeah.
possessive and annoying the blonde is being because the other one is her sister and it's like all she has left. Like their parents possibly just died or something. I don't know.
Yeah, their parents did die, and she's being over possessive.
So
After
they're
the parents
complaining
died.
about that, but Rachel spots something in the distance and goes to check it out because that's stuff that you do when you're in the woods. And she comes across Bunnyman as he swipes at her with his machete. He misses and somehow gets away. I thought she got killed, but then she shows up a little bit later, not dead. So I'm like, oh, okay, then there you go. So she runs off, leaving Kelly alone to die, which she does. But don't worry, Rachel does not get far because Bunnyman catches up with her at some shantytown bathroom where he mows her down with the chainsaw. This is the start
Of the movie.
This is the start of something that just annoyed me throughout the whole film. All of the women in this are stupid. Like they're dumb. And they seem to be written like, you know, stupid
Well, they probably
women.
weren't written that way.
Yeah. I have comments later, but the way everything is going, I understand in a horror movie, because I write horror movies, that like victims needs to get to the point where they're victims.
Yes, but not in a drawn out manner.
This scene even right before this scene, what's the chick's name? Kelly? Bunnyman is coming towards her with a machete. Kelly doesn't run. She just stands there and gets killed. Rachel runs away, then gets to a shantytown bathroom. How did Bunnyman catch up with her so fast? He was just killing her. The other chick should have gotten away, but she didn't. So now she's at this bathroom, and then
Maybe he has
she's running.
supernatural powers that
Yeah,
they don't.
and then
explain.
Bunnyman is right there, and then she falls on the ground and doesn't get up to run away. She just sits there and gets killed. That seems to be the fucking thing of the whole
It seems
movie.
like she
Like
gave
women
up,
are
really.
too stupid
Yeah.
to get out of these situations, so that the killer actually has to work. Bunnyman is
Well, I
fucking
feel
lame
like
as
that's
shit.
how they were written.
Yeah,
Bunnyman is
I
just-
know, and
Bunnyman's
that's that's part of my
it's
complaint.
a House of a Thousand Corpses deal.
But at least in House of a Thousand Corpses, you know that they kind of wanted to fuck baby.
It's
like, yeah,
on top
he's
of that,
there
it was
with her.
good.
With his girlfriend and shit, but you know he kind
Oh,
of
but
wants
he
to
was
fuck
hitting.
baby.
He was hitting on her bad.
Back with Sarah and Lauren, they make it to Joe's store, obviously not caring that their friends aren't there. He acts like a creeper, and then they leave. He comes out following them and then pulls his gun out and takes them captive. This is where I first started to notice that the audio, I was just not hearing
It's
shit.
getting lower. It's getting
Yeah.
lower on you.
It's
Oh,
like
it's bad
Joe is
for me.
talking, but the person holding the microphone is like running away from him. Like I can't hear a
Uh-oh.
goddamn thing this dude is saying, and I don't want to blare it, like blast the music and everything because like the sound, because then I do that, and then all of a sudden I get like a fucking audio stinger and
Audio
I'm deaf.
feedback and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I don't know.
I had it up. I had mine loud, but I have everything loud because I
Yeah.
barely hear shit.
So he takes them captive. The next scene we cut to, the girls are being held in captivity, but they're asleep and have to be woken up. We never saw him knock them out.
Yeah. So why would they still be like? Yeah.
Did they just take
He knocked
naps?
him out later.
Were they tired from their hike?
I
How, when he's focusing
I
on
would
one
never be able
person,
to take a
does
nap.
the other one not attack him? Like, again,
Yeah.
all stupid. Instead, you have Lauren chained to a bed and Sarah chained, like tied up to a shelving unit. He goes and he starts waking them up, and Joe is making like gross gestures towards them, like he's gonna sexually assault them. But at the same time, he gives off the vibe that he's never touched or been inside a woman. So it's you have more of a danger of him just beating you than anything else. I was telling my wife about this because after the Grand Canyon cleavage scene, she kind of checked out.
Yeah.
Joe tells the girls that he gets off on like being violent and scaring people, and he keeps like threatening them with rape, and Lauren is tied to the bed. So you'd think he would like do something to like amp up the scaring. He climbs on top of her, and I can't wait to send this to get clipped, and this is probably what's gonna get clipped. He like gets on top of her and he goes, yeah, and I'm gonna do that to you. And I'm like, what is this? What the fuck is this movie?
He's all fucking talk.
It feels like this is the director being like, I finally get to monologue my feelings. And it's so fucking, because remember, the director is also the writer.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah. To spare Lauren's life, Sarah offers to capture additional campers that they spotted on the woods. It's great that they saw these people, but we didn't see these people. She also doesn't like offer up her other friends. Like they don't know that their friends are dead.
But no, she doesn't offer up her other friends. But she offers up those other
the
campers,
other people.
Though.
But wouldn't you offer up your friends as well, and then have him be like, "Oh, them girls is dead already." No, it's just like, "Oh, I found these other people," and it's like, okay. I don't know why she trusts Joe not to rape and kill Lauren once you leave, but whatever.
Yeah. Making a deal and shit like that, like he's gonna come through with it.
Yeah. Joe has Bunnyman arm her with a handgun and tells her she has 30 minutes to bring another 3 girls if she wants him to free Lauren.
It said like
after Sarah and Joe leave, Lauren pleads with Bunnyman to let her go, but all he does is take off his mask and begin to lick his lips. I was not expecting that face. That is not the face. That is straight nightmare fuel. Like I was like, ugh.
Yes.
It's like, and I think she like pleads with him a little bit later, and I'm like, that's just dumb. Like, don't do that. Sarah uses the weapon. She got to those girls really quick. She threatens them to go back to Joe's barn, and she comes back with all 3 of these women camping in a okay. So all the people that have been camping, I'm trying to like collect all the thoughts. With all the people that are camping, we've come across hikers, campers, all this stuff. There's been one dude who was quickly killed by getting shot in the face.
Okay.
Why are all of these women camping in this shady ass backwoods area alone?
And thought it was a good idea? It's like spit on your grave all over again.
I'm just sitting there, I'm like, well, why are they just there?
Maybe it was a ladies' camping night.
Well, but still, like nothing. Like when you look at their campgrounds, they barely even have supplies there. So like, what is this? It doesn't make. It's like, well, if we add men, then like they got to kill the men, and then we got to bring the women, and then we got to do the stupid thing to make the women stupid, and then it's just, I don't know. The whole thing is like, it's just
annoying.
It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. I hate this movie so much. It's surprisingly still not as bad as the Gracefield incident, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. No, there's definitely ones that was worse, but these are definitely not good.
Even fucking worse. Okay. The other thing is, there's no possible way that all of these people go missing, random cops and a shit ton of missing women.
And nobody comes looking for them.
Nobody's looking for them, and people are
not one
cool with camping in this area that people keep disappearing.
There's not a lore. There's none of that.
Even in Friday the 13th, everyone knew the story of Camp Blood.
Yeah,
you know?
They knew it ahead of time.
Nothing.
I was
like, oh man, all these women keep disappearing in these woods. Come on, ladies, let's go camping. It doesn't make sense. Sarah brings the girls back to Joe, and he holds up his end of the bargain, letting Sarah and Lauren go. However, he does send Bunnyman out to recapture them. Honestly, fuck Lauren's holier-than-thou attitude. She is mad at her sister for doing what she had to do to get them the fuck out of there without being raped. Yeah. And you're mad at her? Oh, well, you got other people captured. Oh, well, what do you want me to do? Just let you do it? Yes. Yeah, you should have just left me.
I thought that whole interaction was pretty fucking terrible. Yeah. I thought that was terrible. But like, listen, I thought I was doing something there, right? You can go get yourself killed again. Thank you. Goodbye.
This should be a walking, talking conversation. You get your asses out of there into a real town. Because again, you shouldn't trust these assholes to not come after you. right?
Yeah, they definitely are going to come after you.
They stop to have this conversation. A pickup truck rolls up on them. They don't run. Bunnyman gets out of the truck. They still don't run. He approaches them. They still don't run. Then Sarah gets knocked the fuck out. And Lauren doesn't run. Why are they not running?
They want to be able to be victims.
It's
That's how they're written.
it's so lazy. It's so stupid. I guess this is the morning. I guess that happened like late at night, and then this would be the morning. Sheriff Cliff Baxter arrives at the general store to investigate the reports of missing women. Who's reporting these women missing? No one has survived.
No one survived to even give a report. It'd have to be family members.
Wouldn't it be more plausible that the sheriff is investigating a dude dressed as a bunny chainsawing children?
Well, but that's not what was given. That's not what the description was given.
Lauren, Sarah, and her friends look like their asses were day hiking. It's been a day or something. I don't think that went in. It was probably still got 12 more hours before that has to be reported. The people camping that were killed, I'm sure they were just out there to camp for like however long they're supposed to be fucking camping. So I don't know if they would be reported missing. And this is also super backwoods.
And they might not
this
have
feels
known.
like you don't call it. Like you have to go in and be like, hello, good sir. This person is missing.
Oh, you mean like go up to the fucking front desk?
Yeah. Yeah. Joe is acting like a complete ass in a way that just doesn't seem realistic. People, especially in rural ass places, do not talk to cops like that.
No.
Most
Well,
likely
he did seem a little apprehensive, but like he still kind of, you know,
was an asshole. He acted like a smug piece of shit when you can clearly see that sheriff is like a good old boy. So why would you take the chances of him being like, you're gonna sass me with that mouth? And then
that's where they got in the whole entire gunfight with.
Yeah, so it's like it doesn't make sense. And here's the crux of my complaint about the whole movie. I'm not saying that the writer director is an incel. Okay? I'm not saying that. But this movie does come across as an incel's version of a power male fantasy. Bunnyman is just this hired gun. He's honestly kind of useless the entire fucking movie. This movie is more
like
about Joe.
Face.
Yeah. I'll get into that a little bit later, but Baxter is very suspicious of Joe's behavior, but leaves after questioning him briefly, and Joe goes to torment the women that Sarah captured, right? I think that's right. I already forget these names because I just don't care. Joe and Bunnyman bring one of the women up to a ridge. Now, okay, never mind. I got it. No, wait, no. Okay, never mind. I got it. I was talking to my wife about this earlier, and I got confused. I was like, they kidnapped 3 girls, but then there's a scene coming up, there's only 2 girls, then one girl gets let go. What the fuck happened to the first girl? This is what happened to the first girl. See, I already forgot how people fucking died and like what they were. Joe and Bunnyman bring one of the women up to a ridge and put her inside of a rain barrel. Once secured inside the barrel, they drill a crap ton of screws into it and then push her down the hill, killing her. Yet when they pushed that barrel down the hill, there was nobody in it.
There was nothing in it.
There was like no weight.
Nothing. But I think it was so fucking stupid that they put nails in it and shit.
Back at the barn, Joe doesn't like the way one of the women is looking at him, so he lets her go. But surprise, surprise, as she's running away, she runs into Bunnyman and decides to hide in an RV.
No.
Just to end up being recaptured. Again, stupid woman. She runs.
Oh, you mean the stereotype that they're trying to make it seem like they're too stupid to comprehend how to get her out of the situation? Yeah.
How the fuck did she fall off the top of that RV? Bunnyman was kicking the bumper.
Apparently she has the balance is just not there.
That's so fucking all fours. You just grip. Unless he's kicking the thing over, he ain't going anywhere. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking stupid. But she is kicked off and then brought back. I think I have Joe's. So he lets this girl's friend go, and she's the one that like hides. Joe and this girl kind of have a back and forth, but it's really just Joe being a fucking incel and fucking whining about women and all the women he's been with and how he doesn't trust them because they bleed for 7 days and that's why he fucks him in the ass.
Sense.
Makes no fucking sense. It's a random, like, who sits there and thinks up this dialogue? Like, this is shitty fucking dialogue.
Trump Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So she says something to him like, you just like to chase or something fucking like that. And he's like, oh, I'll chase you. And then cuts her free and lets her go. So she runs and she hides, but never gets outside of the place. She hides behind a barrel as Bunnyman comes in carrying her friend. She hides inside this wood shop. Bunnyman puts her friend down on the drill press, but not on the drill press. I feel like there's a better way they could have done this scene that involves just a little bit of rotoscoping. But no, they did the forced perspective thing to put the drill down in her head, and it looked bad. It did not look good. But this is the scene where when we were quickly skimming past, and you saw the girl like with her head up like this, and then go ooh, and look down, and you were like, did this girl just Looney Tune like down out of sight? And yeah, that was this. But she ends up getting caught by Bunnyman, like watching her instead of like going down. And she, like while the drill was
I
happening,
thought it was a pretty decent, it's a decent kind of kill, but I don't think it did that much.
Yeah, but it's like also during this kill, all the noise of it would have been the perfect opportunity for you to get away. Why are you just standing there watching? You don't think he's gonna finish and then kill you? Like, what the fuck is going on? So she doesn't escape until Bunnyman sees her, and then she fumbles her way out of the door. She makes her way to a box truck and decides to climb up and hide on top of it. Bunnyman can't climb, so he just keeps throwing a grappling hook up there. And after a couple attempts, it hooks her and he pulls her down. Come the fuck on. This is stupid. This is fucking
stupid. You didn't like
stupid.
that? You didn't think that would be plausible?
No, this is not how that works. Why isn't she jumping the 3 feet down to the truck and then running away? Why did the other chick get knocked off the RV by him kicking the bumper? Literal zero intelligence with any of these female characters. It's so stupid. But this chick is now recaptured and strung up next to Lauren and Sarah. Joe asks Bunnyman which of the three he wants to fuck. He chooses Sarah, but Joe tells him that he can fuck the brunette instead. Not the brunette. He says
not brunette. The brunette.
The brunette. It's like,
brunette. Okay, is she like on fire or something? What the hell are you saying, brunette?
He hands Bunnyman his rifle, and Bunnyman gets a round stuck, so he's like, oh boy, what, you stupid, can't believe you did that, durr. And then they leave to go fix it. While they're out of the room, the new chick frees herself and hobbles away. She manages to get outside when they're coming back in, and Joe shoots her in the ass cheek as Bunnyman approaches her and chokeslams her onto the ground and begins choking her.
That was a scene I thought was fucking hilarious.
Angelic music starts to play, and then a whispering voice is heard. I think it's in her head. They can't chain you.
Sure it is.
Everything is going to be okay. Then Bunnyman just stops choking her.
Lies.
And then walks over and grabs his chainsaw and cuts her up. While Joe and Bunnyman are busy with that chick, Sarah and Lauren use the opportunity to escape off screen. We don't see them actually getting themselves free or doing anything. It's just next thing you know, they're screaming help, help as they run through the woods, and Joe and Bunnyman follow them.
Of course they're gonna follow them.
They end up coming across Sheriff Baxter. He finds them running through the woods. He tells them to hide in his truck.
Big gun.
And that he has a pistol under his seat with 2 rounds in it.
Why
only 2 rounds?
Big gun guy over here. I don't know. You know, how great is that? When he's like, oh yeah, I have a 2 round. What the fuck's that gonna do for anybody?
He tells them to wait in the truck and make those 2 rounds count if anyone comes for them.
Basically said good luck.
He heads into the woods to face off with Joe. After him and Joe squabble a little bit, Joe manages to get the drop on the sheriff in a duel and uses his thumbs to gouge out the sheriff's eyes.
I hate that though. I hate scenes like that.
Yeah. Sheriff Baxter manages to retrieve his weapon and shoot Joe in the neck before dying. Meanwhile, Bunnyman finds the sheriff's vehicle and pulls Lauren out and begins to choke her. How did they not see him approaching the truck? One of them is sitting facing the direction that he came from.
The direction that she's coming from, yeah.
Yeah, like that doesn't make any sense. Like, whatever. Sarah runs to her aid, and as she goes to shoot him, he smacks the gun away and then knocks her out again. This fucking chick has the glassiest of glass jaws. Like, it's fucking insane. That, like, a light breeze knocks her the fuck out. Like, it's insane.
She's the person you don't want to be on your team.
Bunnyman focusing on Lauren, again, begins smashing her head against the truck, and that angelic music begins to play again. And then she's dead. Sarah wakes up to find her sister dead, and as Bunnyman prepares to use his chainsaw on her, she uses the handgun to shoot herself in the head to avoid a terrible fate. Bunnyman finds Joe dying in the woods. Joe taunts Bunnyman into finally shooting him before Bunnyman just walks off alone
in the distance.
Again, we hear the angelic voices we've heard before, and it turns out that it wasn't in the women's head, it's in his head.
It's in the man's head, yeah.
That everything is going to be okay, and they can't hurt him anymore. He's not the fucking hero of this story. He's a fucking monster.
No.
You don't get to be, you don't get to the end of this and be like, wow, you should feel sorry for him. He was probably abused or something. No, he's a fucking monster that goes around killing people. You just leave him at that. He doesn't really need a fucking backstory. He doesn't need all that fucking angelic shit. It's very fucking stupid.
You don't need to sympathize with him.
And that is the end of Bunnyman 2.
Yeah, it just ends.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so fucking happy it's over. It's a fucking one.
Yeah. No, this is another one.
Recapping this made me tired.
Like I said earlier, this movie comes across as, again, I'm not saying that the director is an incel. What I'm saying is the way that this appears makes it seem like this is the incel version of a power male fantasy. Joe is a piece of shit who talks down to everyone, acts like he's the smartest, toughest person in the world, and does nothing but like talk down to and belittle women for being stupid women. He uses the threat of rape and violence to assert his dominance over women that they capture, but doesn't ever actually rape them, mainly because he probably can't get it up. And he's also always fucking monologuing.
Yeah.
I told you before. I was wondering if like I had this snippet. I read this to my wife. This is a verbatim monologue that he had. There's no cuts in what he says. This is what he says verbatim when he's talking to the girl that like he let the friend go of. I always considered myself the romantic type. Hell, I love me plenty of women out here. Heck, not much of them are lookers, but hell, I'll just fuck them from behind. Hit her in the shitter, that's what I say. Can't trust you bitches. Bleed out every month on days on end without dying. That shit ain't right.
That whole thing was so fucking scary. I was like, what the hell is it? It's like a South Park fucking episode.
Yeah. What was that? There's no reason for that. Why is this guy monologuing? It's like he's trying to get out all the things that make him mad about women. It's like, fucking women, bleeding for 7 days and not dying. It's like, okay, that's why I fuck them in the butthole. Or maybe you just really like
still doesn't make any sense.
And you're trying to tell me that none of the women in this movie are able to outthink this Renaissance man? The only person in this entire film that sees through Joe's bullshit was the cop, the male cop. The women didn't save the day. The cop fatally wounds Joe, and Sarah kills herself instead of shooting Bunnyman in the head and then getting away. Like, 1 out of 5. Don't watch this movie.
Don't watch this movie. Not to mention this literally doesn't tell you that it's the second one, not the first one.
I read a lot of like shitty takes about the first Terrifier movie. How people complained that the movie sucked because it was like misogynistic because of how they killed a single woman. A single woman in the entire movie she was killed a very particular way for shock value, and that was misogynistic. But the woman that it happened to, like, she fought back, she was smart about it and did all this stuff. There was thought happening. Art the Clown has no sexual desire towards any of the women that he kills. It's just scary for the shock value to scare the next person. He also kills both men and women in gross ways to terrify the viewer, both the moviegoer and the characters in the film.
Shock value.
However, this sad, pathetic guy just trying to put women in their place because he's sad and pathetic and has a fragile male ego and needs to feel superior. Why, like I said before, why is the sheriff only investigating that these women are missing? Like, they've been missing a couple of hours, not the giant bunny man that murdered kids.
It's like a backwards fucking place. They're not gonna pay attention to that much shit.
It's just like this whole thing is,
like you said, they probably don't know about it because no one came into the fucking precinct the one precinct and didn't
Yeah.
report it.
No, this whole thing is just garbage. 1 out of 5. It was shot fairly competently, but the story sucks, the acting's awful, the gore was pathetic, and there's no final girl. It's 1 out of 5. Do not recommend.
Do not watch this fucking movie.
Next week's film is
Next week.
Real Evil? No,
Real
Real Evil
Evil
was
or
another.
something like
What the
that?
fuck? I already don't. I wrote that fucking thing. Evil Things. Next film is Evil Things, and I think it's only about an hour long. But that is it for tonight. Remember to like and subscribe, follow us on podcast services and whatnot, and we will see all of you next time. Bye.
Latest.
That was delayed.